Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Ada.
I'm Saint.
And we're gonna open some stuff.
That's right. Well, we're not going to open up any product today, but we will open up an email from one of our loyal viewers.
From Brandon from Australia, right?
Brandon from Australia, yeah.
Yes. So I'm just gonna read it out loud for you guys. Hi there, Saint and Ada. I just wanted to say thank you for your recent Grinding Through Adversity video. Having grown up as a person of Asian heritage in Australia, much of what Ada and yourself spoke about truly resonated with my experiences. I'm also inspired by your story about getting through the few years where your assets were frozen by looking for other ways of generating income. I also understand Saint runs a really successful payments company now. Hope you do a video on how you went about that, as I find it inspiring and look up to your experiences. Thank you so much for bringing something unique and different, but really real, to the Fab community. Brandon.
Well, we really appreciate feedback from all of our loyal viewers, especially when it comes from the heart. Mm-hmm. And we just wanted to do an episode on our recent successes and the challenges that we both had to overcome from that.
So in today's video, we're gonna give you guys 3 tips that both Saint and I thought would be really helpful for you guys to just kind of hear and learn from our experiences.
Rack up them W's in life.
Yeah, so both Saint and I have been very fortunate to be featured in 2 major platforms. I was recently featured in an entrepreneur podcast.
Yeah, you mentioned the podcast, right? Congratulations, Ada. Wasn't that just this past week or last week?
Yeah, I think it was last week. I did the interview the week before last week, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a huge honor for me, and it was a 30-minute interview. And
you can include some link, right?
Yeah. If you could embed it, that would be awesome. It kind of, the interviewer asked a lot of questions about how I got to where I am today, and I told many stories.
Yeah, Ada's face didn't just pop up everywhere day one. She worked hard, and she uses moisturizer too.
Yeah. So a lot of you might be curious about how I got featured in Entrepreneur, and it wasn't, just one day I woke up and it's like I got a call from them. No, it doesn't work like that. So over the years, I've always been a very optimistic and open-minded person. I go to social events and I meet a lot of people from all different types of backgrounds, and I've always been that one person that's open to opportunities. And I kind of talked about that in my podcast, where even when I was younger in college, whatever people ask me to do, I'll be like, okay, sure. It's kind of like FaBled Hunters, right? Like, no, not like that type of stuff, like either being an internship or any business. I was always very open-minded. And
I didn't say anything, Ada, okay?
I think it's a way that my mom taught me. My mom's an risk taker, and she always taught me to really be open and always look on the bright side. When Saint approached me last November about FaBled Hunters with I had no knowledge of any card games, and I just remember I went to a ramen shop.
Actually, time out. You said November.
Yeah, was it November?
It was November, but we weren't planning to do FaBled Hunters, remember?
Oh,
we were planning to do a game TCG channel based on a different game, right?
Wait, no, it was November.
It was November, yes, but it wasn't for FaBled Hunters.
Okay, and then you approached me again.
We're doing MTG Portal.
Okay.
We did a pilot for MTG Portal.
Yeah.
And then it was January, and then then the whole Fab thing happened. I'm so glad we were a Fab channel instead of the other thing. Yeah.
But anyways, and I thought to myself that, I finally had graduated from college, and it all of a sudden felt kind of empty, because I was used to being so busy 24/7, and I was used to that lifestyle. And when I get bored, I just get in trouble. So I'm like, okay, why don't I take this on? So I agreed to do it and see where it took us. Like now we're here 6-7 months later, still filming videos, and we're going to Dallas for the calling. It has brought brought me a lot of new friends.
Mhm.
I've definitely met a lot of new people that I would never otherwise met. And since it's a new client that we're helping with, so that's exciting. It's opened up my eyes to like different worlds, and that's always been my life. What do you call this?
Your
Knowledge
outlook
life,
or your direction?
my direction. And so tip number 1 from Ada is be open-minded. Always be open-minded. It doesn't matter where you are in life.
Be open to opportunity.
Yes, be open to opportunities and take it, just run with it, see where it goes. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You probably learned something really important from a mistake, and that should be a good thing. And just never think, oh, I wasted however many months or years on a project that I didn't get any profit or benefits out of. I always look at it like, okay, I learned I learned a lot of.
We're doing that right now, right?
Yeah. And it's a little different, right? Like the whole community, like Fab community it's almost like what do you call this? Like a social club, more than just a game. That, like, from my perspective, that's really what it is. It's brought so many people from different parts of the world together to like form this bond that's never seen before in any other industries. Because you look at, yes, people are into stocks, but there's money, right? Like if, let's say, I give you a tip, then that doesn't make, cause conflicts. Versus for Fab, it's almost like I wouldn't say a heaven, but like very peaceful social
It's
community.
its own
that's really,
ecosystem.
yeah, it's interesting.
Feels like it, yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, I hope that helps you. And if you're interested in learning more, check out the podcast. So yeah, saying you have more tips for the viewers, right? And you were featured in a Forbes article that's huge, and we're celebrating.
Yeah. This was just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I was interviewed a couple months ago
Yeah.
by a writer on Forbes, and I actually didn't know if they would actually publish it, and I didn't really think anything of it. But Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., we ran the article. I'm like, oh, crap!
That's amazing.
Wow, that was insane. I didn't think. I mean, I got asked 6 or 7 questions, and I answered them to the best of my ability, and here we are on Forbes. I wish my late father, Tiger Dad, could have been here to see it, but I think he's, up there proud of everything. Just speaking about a tip in business, speaking about this opportunity, and speaking about my company, my main company, Muse as well, but my original company, Universal Processing, it was all about community. I don't want to bore people with details. I'm sure your energy will put the link in there as well. But basically, I worked for so many of the big companies, First Data, JP Morgan, Global Payments, US Bank, Bank of America.
All the banks you could think of.
Yes. Well, no, all of them. Literally all, and Fifth Third Bank, like 4 out of the 5 big banks. BO.
Wow.
Yeah, and their whole attitudes was all about how much money you can make for the quarter, how much money you can make for the shareholders. Yeah. They're kind of like the Hasbro or the WotC of the banking system, and I just wasn't feeling it. I put 7 years of my life going up in the ranks and being young. I was young once, Ada. I was young once upon a time, and I gave them the best years of my life, and it was just all about, what have you done for us lately? What's our share price at? Oh, our share price is down. Bad job. Your individual contributions mean nothing. Oh, our share price is up. Let's take you to a fancy dinner one time and then give you an attaboy, and then for the next 3 months, you better perform. Or work your ass off or else. And I think I had a passing away in the family, and that just was a catalyst for me to just build a business that was about the community, that was about minorities, that was about immigrants, that was about female-owned businesses, LGBTQ-owned businesses, and generally it was about the community. Honestly, if you want to succeed, you need to be about other people. And that's a point. That's tip number 2. you need to bring value to people outside of yourself. You need to give them value in order to make yourself valuable. And I did that. I cut out the banks. I cut out the private equity companies. I cut out the shareholders. And I said, every single dollar I've made, probably times 10, because I made a certain amount of money. And I borrowed a fuck ton of money from family, from friends, to finance Universal Processing. We were negative 7 figures, like at one point when we were really bad. Just to keep this dream alive, just to say, hey, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, I'm doing this not for me. I'm doing this for every other immigrant, for every other, minority business owner, for every woman business owner that was just marginalized, that was just like overlooked, not taken seriously. And that was almost 20 years ago. That said, there were the efforts. More recently, there were the efforts at the beginning of COVID, and everybody else, all the other CEOs of established companies who've been 10, 15, 20 years in business, they're like, I gotta look out for me. I gotta get on my boat. I gotta go on my beach house. I gotta go on my lake house. I gotta go to another country. I gotta go to Bali or wherever to flee COVID. I didn't do that. I was here. I was in Manhattan. It was the worst ever in Manhattan. Manhattan was ground zero. I mean, people remember the news. I think we might even have some clips.
Well, the coronavirus has hit New York especially hard. There are more than 10,000 people who have died there. New York City is really the hotbed for infections in the state. The 5 boroughs alone have seen more than 106,000 cases. Many hospitals there are just struggling to keep up with the influx of patients.
We decided that the best thing to do, the most impact we could make, would be to deliver ammunition to the frontline healthcare workers, especially the ones in New York and also New Jersey. So we've been pretty successful so far in handling trade routes, doing some international logistics, and getting so far 14,000 N95 masks to the hospitals, the healthcare workers.
Okay, hitting the road. We're gonna drop by and drop off another 2,000 masks to the healthcare workers of Claire Moss Medical Center in New Jersey.
And we paid like $7 to $10 plus stupid shipping, like really ridiculous shipping for masks, just to get them into the hands of doctors and nurses in all the hospitals in the tri-state area. And then, not only that, we repositioned, pivoted our business to really be about the community. And I mean, again, you can read the rest of that in the article. I'm just really proud to have the team that I have. I feel really fortunate to have secured the interview. It was through Ada as well, through New Media's help. They're amazing. That's why they're handling stuff for LSS. That's why we're business partners. And Ada's just a PR whisperer. And actually there was one last thing, because we're only at 2 points, right? Point number 3, and how
I want to add on to the second point.
Okay.
So actually, now that like Sing always talks too much. So like, I'm trying to get my words, like Anyways, so
You have the floor, Ada.
my story with new media. So new media before COVID were a profitable business. We were never negative. So I was very fortunate, at least with the digital marketing business, we were never in the negative. At other businesses, other ventures that were losing tons of money. But that was before new media. But in March of last year, I kind of talked about this in a podcast. We had to pivot to, I was stuck in my apartment here in New York, a tiny ass apartment. And because I signed the lease 1 month before COVID started.
Oh no.
And I just remember March of 2020.
And landlords are a bitch, right?
I know,
they held you to it. They don't.
Yeah, I paid overpriced rent.
Yeah.
So March of 2020, we invoiced all the clients, collected all the money. Boom, the second week, everything was shut down. I was still in college at the time, haven't graduated at that point. So I was like, what do we do? So I went on Upwork to rebuild clientele for new media because we're heavily dependent on hospitality businesses.
Okay.
I helped my clients deliver their frozen products during COVID in the city. Because I couldn't I was so bored. God, I shouldn't, I'm not trying to be humble. I'm just the type of person I always have to be doing something. So starting in March, I was like, do you remember 3 times?
Yeah.
So all the other restaurants.
The Asian restaurant, right?
Yeah, so they came up with frozen soup dumplings. So I was helping them do delivery. It was so funny. It was a good time.
Did your customers tip you or anything?
Yes, actually. I visited so many fancy ass apartment buildings here in New York. It was
Nice.
fun. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but anyways.
Ada, if new media doesn't work out, she could do Uber Eats.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that was part of a journey. I think all of us learned a lot from that experience. It's so unforgettable, and it's just only made us stronger.
It did.
And wiser, really. Yeah. Yeah, but anyways, okay, let's move on to tip number 3 now. Tip
number 3, and again, before I was interrupted by Ada, was that this ties together with Legend Story Studios and what they believe in. Yeah. James has mentioned it so many times, and he had mentioned it in our interviews as well, that you need to do what you say you're going to do. Yeah. And we did that. We do that as Universal Processing. You do that as New Media. And we bring value to the community. Mm-hmm. We leave ourselves open for any and every opportunity. Yeah. When we said we're about the community, we really went all in for the minority community. Yeah. We, bought masks. We stopped selling. We stopped creating revenue. We said, how can we help you? How can we triage your business? How can we save you business? You can even call us. Just talk to us and tell us what you need. Yeah. We'll get you masks. We'll get you funding. We'll get you loans. We'll get you PPP, EIDL, everything. And we really did exactly what we said. My colleagues, who some would consider my competition within the space of fintech, they, again, ran off to their beach houses. They ran off on their yachts. Yeah. They were doing all sorts of other stuff. Some of them lost their businesses. Some of them went from wealthy to zero. Wow. And good for them, because they did not say what they were going to do. Yeah. They have all these taglines on their websites about how they're about their customers. Mm-hmm. And when push came to shove, everybody's true colors came out, and the cards laid where they laid. Yeah. So in the toughest of times, we really reflected our values. Yeah. Just like LSS, James and his crew, they do exactly what they say. So that said, just to wrap everything up, I'm just so happy that we are representing Legend Story Studios in business, and we are here representing the brand ambassadorship of the game of Flesh and Blood, and not some other game, because we almost did in our game. But here we are, we're happy, we like your feedback. Please continue to watch our videos, like, comment, subscribe, tickle the notification bell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Bye.